Styrofoam brand foam has a porous surface. It is found in art and craft stores in many interesting shapes. Floral EPS foam is very much like styrofoam. EPP foam is almost unbreakable. It is often used for making RC airplanes and for packaging heavy appliances. Polyethylene foam is used for tool and camera cases. It looks just like polyurethane foam, but unlike polyurethane foam, polyethylene is not toxic or flammable when cut with hot wire. Foam can be found in giant 4 by 4 foot by 8 foot long blocks. Low-temperature hot melt glues work great for instant and permanent bonds. High and medium temperature hot melt glue will melt through beaded EPS foam. Foam coat is used for gluing large, rough surfaces. Rubber cement bonds almost instantly. The bond can usually be separated without damaging the foam. Epoxy is difficult to use, but creates an excellent bond. Our Shelby 277 spray glue is the only spray glue we know of that won't dissolve foam. Many glues can eat right through foam.
last but not least, we have our foam fusion. It's our bonding agent.
James bonding?
This stuff is incredible. One, it's nice because you can use it around your house. If it gets on anything, you can wash it off. Two, it is a 30-second tack and a 24-hour complete bond. What's really nice about this is it, with the weather changing, you know, it won't, like with a hot glue gun, if it gets really cold, you'll break the bond. If it gets really hot, it'll break the bond. This will last forever.
It'll flex with the temperature.
Right. It has no solvents in it either, so you know once you glue it, 20 years later when you come back to it, it's still going to be bonded. You can also cut through it when it's put on fairly thin, so that makes it really nice too. But this is our foam fusion, and it's incredible stuff. Well, I am so excited. Aren't you excited, Dale?
Yes, I am.
We are introducing our Hot Wire Foam Factory foam coating system, which is going to take foam art to a whole nother level. Everything from protecting and beautifying to texturing.
Adding flexibility in some
Flexibility, durability, weatherproofing, everything is going to be offered here. So this is Hot Wire's Foam Factory complete foam coating system that's going to protect and beautify your foam projects.
How do we know what to use for any particular project? Because there's so many different things. Do you have to be a rocket scientist to use this? Or?
No, there's no exact. It's kind of like cooking. You know, you kind of put a little bit here, a little bit there, but to what your need is. So I don't know. Think of something that you would need.
Say you're a theater company and you want to make props that are going to be really durable because they have a tendency to get really abused.
Like handled or
and
thrown?
Yeah.
I would definitely say bounce. You want to use the bounce. You could use the bounce with no foam coat, but like we did here, was we to put bounce and a partial amount of foam coat, and that'll be perfect because you'll have the give. You have the memory foam behind it, and you can handle it and throw it.
And stepped on and all this, and they'll still be good for the end of the run.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are now introducing Boost. If this is our liquid fortifier. You mix it in a foam coat and it's going to make it really, really strong. As opposed to the bounce where you could actually put your fingernail into it and it would kind of bounce back and not crack. This, you're probably going to break your fingernail. So ladies with nice manicures, you probably don't want to get your nails next to the Boost.
So it's nice and rigid as opposed to flexible.
Right, exactly. So if you wanted to throw a rock, you'd want to use the bounce. If you want to step on the rock, you'd want to use the Boost.
What about wired backdrops for theater companies?
Well, like for a large backdrop, if it's not going to be touched and handled a lot, you could just do a thin paint-on layer of foam coat. But if you're going to have, like, say, a backdrop that's going to be moved and replaced, then I would definitely say add the Boost. If it's going to do through head, like you're going to be on and off the stage a lot, right. And maybe even door slamming or something like that, I would probably add the mesh in there. But then also, if you're looking for a rock effect, you know, you would add the grit.
What about something that's going to get heavy use or abuse? I mean, the strongest. What do you want to use, and how thick can you go on it?
Well, you can go, you know, 3/8 of an inch thick for as thick as you want to go. And
3/8 at a time.
3/8 of a time, yeah. Okay. You know, come back.
Let it dry.
But what you would do is probably mix the grit with the foam coat, with the Boost, with the mesh, and it's going to be harder than concrete. Yeah, absolutely. If you were to do it as thick as concrete, the thickness of a
harder
concrete.
Than your head too?
Ooh.
It's getting back at you from before.
Nothing's that hard.
So you wonder how, like, the rocks fall on Indiana Jones? They use foam coat, and this will make it feel and look just like rock.
Except much lighter, and you won't hurt people when they fall.
Right here we have two different types of grit. You can add it into the foam coat to give it a rockier finish.
Texturizer.
A texturizer, yeah, exactly. So we have the smaller grit and then the heavier grit.
If you're using the foam coat and the Boost, can you also add the grit to give it the texture and still keep the strength?
Yes, you can. And in fact, you want to add about 30%, up to 30%. And it will make it even stronger, and you'll have the texture too.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can mix it all up.
I did not know that. Right now I do.
There we go. This right here is our Hot Wire Foam Factory mesh. Doesn't look like much, but it adds strength and rigidity after you put it on, and then you foam coat over it.
Kind of like rebar and concrete.
Similar, same theory, but different. Same but different.
Well, yeah, because obviously this you can bend this, but you can't bend the rebar, and this is much lighter, so it's not going to add any weight to your project.
Right, exactly. The Boost and the Foam Fusion and the Bounce are all available in gallon sizes. For the hobbyist, we have 16 and 8 ounce containers also.
Water-based acrylics are the best paints for foam. Some colors are now available in spray cans. Outdoor latex paint will protect foam outdoors for the life of the paint and will outlast wood. Here is a technique for making sparkling snow. Brush a diluted mixture of white Elmer's glue or white paint on the mountaintops. Then sprinkle glitter on the wet surface. Many paints will dissolve the foam, sometimes with desirable results. Here we are spraying a clear paint that slowly dissolves the foam. It's a good idea to test any new paint on a piece of scrap foam. Foam can be made to look like any kind of material with the right texturing techniques and surface coatings. Foam can be smoothed with 80 to 120 grit sandpaper. Why not make your own sanding block out of foam? Sponge-backed sanding blocks are good for curved surfaces. Try using a wire brush to create a rough texture. Although you can draw your design right on the foam, many people like to use pre-printed patterns. Pin the pattern right on the foam. Use a dull pencil or ballpoint pen to trace over the pattern, which will make a visible impression right on the foam. Your pen will leave a deeper impression on extruded foam than on expanded foam. You may want to darken the pattern lines with a water-based pen. You can pin 2 or more pieces of foam together to keep from having to cut out the same thing more than once.
It's not just a toy, it's really a little manufacturing unit. It can be used for so many things. Your imagination is the only confinement. As far out as you can go, it's possible. You can imagine it, put it on paper, or scratch it on a piece of plastic, or just start cutting away.